When a design team builds a user persona, they work with surgical precision. They map out the target demographic by age, income bracket, profession, and even the specific model of phone they carry in their pocket. But this model relies on a massive, unspoken assumption. When designers try to picture how this user sees the world, they treat sight as an absolute constant. It is not. This diagram shows the biological reality. Out of every 12 men, roughly one of those men has some form of color vision deficiency. Statistically, that is 8% of the male population. If your product reaches men in any quantity, nearly a tenth of them are missing the color-coded information on your screen. They aren't misinterpreting the data, they simply aren't receiving it at all. The corporate instinct is to take this issue and file it under the label of accessibility. That specific filing system is exactly why the problem gets fixed late and badly. In most organizations, accessibility functions as a final review, a compliance checklist run right before a product ships. A late-stage check works perfectly if you're writing alt text for an image or adjusting keyboard focus states. Those are surface patches on an existing structure, but you cannot patch color at the end of a build. By the time a product reaches that final review, the foundational design is already locked. Early in a project, color feels entirely weightless. It's a decorative choice, a hex code culled from a brand guide to make the interface look appealing. The pivot happens the moment a color is assigned a unique meaning. Green confirms an action. Amber means it is pending. Red stops users from making mistakes. The moment that logic is applied, the color ceases to be styling. It becomes load-bearing. The color is the actual interface. Which brings us back to that late-stage review and the inevitable sad patch. Someone realizes the error and attempts to fix it by forcing tiny, redundant warning icons into spaces that were never built to hold them. You get a compromised, cluttered product. It satisfies a compliance checklist, but it serves nobody well. Safety-critical industries encountered this biological reality decades ago, and they had to figure out how to solve it immediately. The aviation industry recognized that a complex, instrument-dense cockpit couldn't easily be redesigned. Their solution was gatekeeping. They medically test and exclude pilots with color vision deficiency. Compare that exclusion to the humble traffic light, a 100-year-old piece of design intelligence excluding no one. The genius is physical position. Designers decided the top lamp always means stop, disambiguating the command without relying on the driver's ability to process hue. You see this exact logic in transit systems worldwide. Mechanical railway semaphores use the physical angle of their arms to communicate clear, safe instructions to conductors, regardless of how they process color. The traffic light succeeded because its inclusivity wasn't a desperate workaround. It was a structural concept phase decision, and it has quietly served the entire driving population for a century. The digital world has a universal rule for this. Never let color act as the sole means of conveying critical information. Implementing this rule at the concept phase is virtually free. Designers already have to specify position, shape, and labels. You just assign them the meaning. But the cost of timing is brutal. Adding secondary signals during a late-stage review requires expensive, destructive retrofitting to a completed layout. Asking, "Is this accessible?" at the end of a build is the wrong approach entirely. The correct question, asked from day one, is this: which channel is carrying this meaning, and is it the only one? This approach to timing is why the team at Depix spends their resources focused strictly on the concept phase. They catch the specific class of decisions that disguise themselves as styling choices, but behave exactly like permanent architecture. Design decisions are cheap as a sketch, brutal once tooled. See every angle before you build.